All right, on the left-hand side, we have the 7th generation Lenovo Legion Slim, and on the right-hand side, the 7th generation Lenovo Legion 5. Now, they look similar, but they're definitely different machines, and they're positioned for a different audience. But, if you don't know exactly what you're looking for a gaming laptop, then I think it can be really hard to sort of fall into this trap of like, well, which one do I buy, the 5 or the 7, the Slim or the regular? So the purpose of this video is not to do a detailed review of either machine, but more to talk about what they're for, like who they're positioned for. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you the answer, but then we'll dive into why as we go through this. So the Legion 5, this is more for someone who's looking for a lower price gaming laptop and willing to skimp on the materials. Whereas the Legion Slim, it's a more premium device, although not that much more expensive. And this device is the all-around machine. It's going to have better battery life than the 5, better build quality than the 5, thinner and lighter than the 5, and also better performance than the 5. However, there are some key differences. The Legion, this particular one, this Legion Slim 7, is an all AMD machine. Whereas this Legion 5, you can get it in both Intel plus NVIDIA or AMD plus NVIDIA. And this maxes out, if there's only one display, no matter what model you get of the Legion 5, what trim you get, it's only a 1080p display, 165 hertz. Whereas the Legion Slim 7, it's only 165 hertz, 16-inch quad HD, 16 by 10. Now, the fact that this is 16 by 10 and this is 16 by 9 and this is quad HD and this is 1080p means that just from a simple, like straight up frames, you're going to get better frames with the Legion 5 if the GPUs were the same. However, the GPUs are entirely dissimilar and we have this quad HD thing. So if you're going to play a game like Overwatch and you just want as many frames per second, bam. If you want something that's an all-around machine that you can get out and about, go to work, go to the cafe, not have to worry too much about battery life, you have to worry a little bit, right? Then you go with something like the Legion and it can also game and do a good job. Now, the reason we can't do a total heads-up comparison here is that this is what Lenovo sent me, right? They sent me an AMD machine, they sent me an Intel plus NVIDIA machine. And it's really hard to put them toe-to-toe, especially since the displays are so different and the cooling mechanisms are much different as well. The Legion Slim uses Lenovo's Cold Front 4.0 cooling technology. And I think that basically means it has a vapor chamber. Whereas the Legion 5, you don't talk about any kind of cooling on the website. And so, yeah, I'm sure it's cooled. There are some fans, you can hear them, but it's not meant to be like, it's not meant for that purpose. Now, they look really similar. And from the top, from the sides, in many ways, they are similar, right? You can see how the lid, the display, it's recessed from the back. There's obviously more distance on the 5 because it's just a bigger machine. But regardless, they're both going to bring you, the user, closer to the display because the hinge isn't all the way to the back of the device. And it leaves room for another really cool design choice, but it's been around for a while now, but I'll still show it to you. You can see that the venting looks different here, but you do have your USB-Cs on the side. This Intel-based machine will have Thunderbolt, whereas the Slim is going to have USB 4.0. In the front, I'm trying to do this without scratching these guys, they look again very similar, but one key difference is that right here, you'll notice that there's this Legion etching. Let me bring it closer for you. So on premium Lenovo devices, most 7 series devices over the years, and definitely the 9 series devices, they will etch the brand of the device on that lip. And I think it looks really cool when they do that. It also just sort of like feels good. All right. So now to the right-hand side. Okay, nothing got scratched, I promise. Again, a lot of similarities. Your headphone jack, your hardware shutter for the camera. So it's like a little kill switch at the hardware level. There's an LED status indicator to let you know if your machine is in sleep mode or hibernate. That doesn't exist on the Slim, although the Slim does have an SD card slot reader. And the Legion 5 has a USB-A port, which can be really handy if you'd like to put your mouse on the side or maybe a dongle or something. I don't know why they don't recess these things into the chassis so when you put the dongle in, it doesn't stick out. That'd be really cool. Lenovo did that one time with one laptop and it was awesome. Okay, now for the back. Again, similar but different. Full-size Ethernet on the Legion 5, of course not here, on the Legion Slim. Now we have HDMI, we have 2 USB-A ports, and then Lenovo's proprietary power. On the Legion 5, this 3060 model, it comes with a 300 watt power supply. It seems overkill. On the Lenovo Legion Slim, this 6800S GPU model comes with a 230 watt power supply, and it is noticeably smaller and lighter than the power supply that ships with the Legion 5. Otherwise, they do look kind of different. The grills are different, however. A big thing, though, is that the materials are different. Pretty much the entire perimeter of this device is plastic. The bottom, of course, is also plastic. It's very normal for a 5 series. Whereas the Legion, it's all metal all the way around, except for, there we go, one area. Okay, when you flip this open, right underneath the display, this is a sheet of plastic. Now, the rest is basically metal. I think there's some plastic parts like around the hinge, but the chassis, the deck, metal, and it feels and looks really good. Now you notice when I opened the lid, the machine turned right on. That's because it never went into sleep mode, which is something I've been noticing with this device in the day that I've had it. So that's a problem, but I'll try to figure that out as I go through things. Also installing Steam so we can have some fun with some games and get that tested out. Okay, now keyboard decks are basically the same. Since the Legion 5 is thicker, it has more room for key travel, and Lenovo have taken advantage of that, whereas the keys have more spring and less travel distance on the Legion Slim. I realize I flipped these now, so bear with me. And I mentioned early on that the displays are different. One is Quad HD 16:10, the Legion 5 is 1080p 16:9, more of a traditional gaming setup, so just take note of that. Also, on the Legion 5, you don't have these grills, which look like they are speakers, but they're not. The speakers are down firing on both these machines. And otherwise, yeah, very similar. They both have 4-zone lighting, so the main keyboard is split into 3 different lighting zones, and then the number pad is split into its own lighting zone. They both support Lenovo hotkeys, so by holding down Function and pressing Q on either machine, you can adjust the cooling profile from automatic to cool to overdrive. Overdrive only works if it's plugged in, of course. And then Function R will change the refresh rate from 60 Hertz to 165 Hertz, which is a really handy thing to have. So yeah, okay. Now, for you folks, you probably want me to do some testing in a really specific way, and I'll do my best to accommodate that, whether it's certain games, perhaps. Let me know, and if I can, I will do it. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you so far. Okay, so they both came in. I think they're both really exciting machines. Depends on what you want. For my money, I'd go Legion Slim. I think it's just, I love the design, the build, the overall purpose of it, the fact that you can use it for gaming, and it's a really competent work machine with better battery life than something like a Legion 5. But hey, it all depends on what you want. So let me know, and I'll follow up with a more detailed video later on. Cheers.